Part 3. Building Foundations. The dawn broke over the village, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold. Li Wei stood in the doorway of the modest hut he and Han Rong now called home. It was small, built from timber and clay, but it was theirs. No elder brother's shadow, no father's scorn, only freedom and the promise of a future they would shape together. Han Rong emerged from within, tying his hair back with practiced ease. His movements were fluid, confident, every gesture radiating strength. He glanced at Li Wei, a smile tugging at his lips. "The fields await," he said simply. Li Wei nodded, heart swelling. Together, they stepped into the day. The land they had claimed was rough, neglected, its soil hardened by years of misuse. But Li Wei saw potential. He remembered articles about crop rotation, the importance of nitrogen-fixing plants, the benefits of composting. Ideas from his past life swirled in his mind, waiting to be tested. Han Rong watched as Li Wei sketched crude diagrams in the dirt, explaining how alternating crops could restore fertility. "If we plant beans here," Li Wei said, "they will enrich the soil. Next season we can grow millet or wheat, and they will thrive." Han Rong listened intently, his sharp mind grasping the concepts quickly. "So the land itself can be healed," he mused. "Not just worked to exhaustion." Li Wei smiled. "Exactly. We don't need to accept poor harvests as fate. We can change it." Their days became a rhythm of labor and innovation. Li Wei experimented with compost, mixing ash, manure, and vegetable scraps into rich, dark soil. Han Rong hauled water with ease, his strength unmatched, while Li Wei dug irrigation channels to guide the flow. Together, they built a system that transformed barren ground into fertile fields. The villagers watched with curiosity. Some scoffed, others whispered, but a few began to take note. "The second son and the gur," they murmured. "Perhaps they're onto something." At night, they sat by the fire, sharing simple meals of porridge and vegetables. Han Rong's laughter filled the hut, warm and unrestrained. Li Wei found himself smiling more than he had in years, the weight of his past life lifting with each passing day. "You work like a man possessed," Han Rong teased one evening, poking at Li Wei's calloused hands. "Were you a scholar in your past life?" Li Wei chuckled softly. "Something like that. I studied books, numbers, ideas. But it killed me in the end." Han Rong's gaze softened. "Then let this life be different. Let it be one of joy, not just toil." Li Wei reached for his hand, squeezing gently. "With you, it already is." The first harvest was modest, but remarkable compared to the barren fields of before. Their beans grew thick and green, their millet tall and golden. The yield was enough not only to feed themselves but to sell at the market. Coins clinked in Li Wei's pouch, a sound sweeter than any applause he had ever received in his past life. Word spread quickly. Villagers came to see their fields, marveling at the lush crops. Some asked questions, others offered cautious praise. Li Wei explained his methods patiently, though few truly understood. Han Rong stood beside him, proud and unyielding, his presence a shield against scorn. Their prosperity drew attention and envy. Li Wei's family watched from afar, their faces tight with resentment. His elder brother sneered, muttering about luck and chance. His parents whispered of betrayal, of a son who had abandoned them. Yet Li Wei felt no guilt. He had given them years of labor, and they had given him nothing in return. Now he had built something of his own. As the seasons turned, their household grew stronger. Li Wei crafted new tools, sharpening plows, designing simple water wheels to lift irrigation. Han Rong expanded their fields, his strength carving new furrows into the earth. Together, they built storage sheds, granaries, and even a small workshop. Their marriage deepened with each success. Han Rong's confidence balanced Li Wei's pragmatism, their partnership seamless. They faced challenges, storms, pests, gossip, but overcame them with resilience and ingenuity. Each obstacle became a lesson, each triumph a bond. One evening, as the moon rose high, Han Rong leaned against Li Wei, his voice low. "Do you ever regret leaving your family?" Li Wei shook his head firmly. No. I regret only that I did not leave sooner. Han Rong's smile was fierce. Then let us show them what freedom can achieve. Li Wei's heart swelled. Together we will. And so, the foundations were laid, not just of fields and huts, but of a life built on love, knowledge, and defiance. The second son and the Gur, once dismissed and whispered about, now stood as proof that strength and wisdom could reshape destiny. Their journey had only begun. Part 4. Love and Partnership. The seasons shifted, and with them, the rhythm of Li Wei and Han Rong's life. Their hut, once bare and modest, now bustled with warmth. Herbs hung drying from the rafters, baskets of grain lined the walls, and the scent of cooked millet filled the air. It was not wealth yet, but it was comfort, a comfort born of their own hands, their own choices. Li Wei often woke before dawn, the habit of his past life lingering. He would watch Han Rong sleep, his face softened in rest, the strength of his body relaxed. In those quiet moments, Li Wei felt a peace he had never known before. No deadlines, no fluorescent lights, no suffocating expectations. Only the steady breath of the man beside him, the promise of another day together. Their marriage was not without challenges. Villagers whispered, some with envy, others with disdain. A second son and a Gur, they muttered. What kind of household is that? Yet when they saw the flourishing fields, the healthy crops, the laughter that spilled from the hut, their words faltered. Han Rong met gossip with unflinching confidence. Let them talk, he said one evening, as they shared rice wine by the fire. Their tongues cannot plow fields or fill granaries. Only our hands can do that. Li Wei smiled, admiration swelling in his chest. You are fearless. Han Rong's gaze softened. I am strong because you stand beside me. Their bond deepened with each passing day. They worked side by side, sweat mingling with laughter, arguments dissolving into tender reconciliations. Li Wei's modern knowledge guided their farming, while Han Rong's strength and social acumen shielded them from scorn. Together, they were unstoppable. Yet envy brewed in the shadows. Li Wei's elder brother, bitter at his success, spread rumors. He must be cheating, the brothers sneered in the marketplace. No one grows crops like that without trickery. Li Wei ignored the words, but Han Rong bristled. If he dares speak again, I will silence him myself, he growled. Li Wei placed a calming hand on his arm. Let him talk. Our success will speak louder than his lies. One day, a storm swept through the village, winds tearing at roofs, rain flooding the fields. Many households suffered losses, their crops ruined. Yet Li Wei's fields, fortified with irrigation channels and compost-rich soil, endured. His harvest stood tall while others withered. The villagers came, desperate, asking for help. Li Wei shared what he could, offering grain and advice. Han Rong stood beside him, proud yet protective. Do not let them take advantage, he warned. Li Wei nodded. I will not. But I will not let them starve either. Their generosity won respect, though envy lingered. At night, their love blossomed in quiet moments. Han Rong would tease Li Wei about his endless ideas, calling him the scholar farmer. Li Wei would laugh, countering with playful jabs at Han Rong's stubborn pride. Their intimacy was not just physical but woven into every glance, every shared task, every unspoken understanding. One evening, beneath a sky scattered with stars, Han Rong pulled Li Wei close. Do you ever think of your old life? He asked softly. Li Wei hesitated. Sometimes. But it feels like a dream now. A dream that ended in exhaustion and loneliness. Han Rong's arms tightened around him. Then let this life be your awakening. Li Wei pressed his forehead against Han Rong's. It already is. Their prosperity grew. They began trading surplus grain, earning coins that jingled in their pouches. With wealth came new opportunities, better tools, sturdier clothes, even small luxuries like tea and silk. Their hut expanded, becoming a home filled with warmth and laughter. Yet with prosperity came greater envy. Li Wei's family, once dismissive, now sought favors. His elder brother arrived one morning, feigning friendliness. "You have done well," he said, eyes gleaming. "Perhaps you could share your method with us." Li Wei's jaw tightened. "You mocked me when I left. You called me ungrateful. Why should I help you now?" His brother's smile faltered. "We are family." Han Rong stepped forward, voice sharp. "Family does not treat one of their own like a servant. Leave." The brother retreated, face dark with anger. Despite the tension, Li Wei and Han Rong thrived. Their partnership was a beacon, their love a fortress. They faced storms, gossip, and betrayal, yet each challenge only strengthened their bond. One evening, as they watched the sun set over their fields, Han Rong spoke quietly. "We have built something they cannot destroy. Not with words, not with envy." Li Wei nodded, heart full. "Together, we are unbreakable."